Hi, everybody. This is Yehudis Schamroth. Welcome back to Wellness Wednesdays, where I discuss important topics, important health and wellness topics, including inflammation, autoimmune disease, brain health, and much, much more. You can check my YouTube channel, RBS Acupuncture.com is the website, and RBS Acupuncture at YouTube. I've got a year and a half's worth of all kinds of wonderful and interesting health topics and people that I've interviewed on every possible health matter out there. And I try to do a lot of research when I'm doing these webinars and try to bring it down to a concise, like small chunk manner so you can absorb it. We all have very limited time, and our time is precious to us, and we want to just go to the information at hand and not go to the misinformation that's out there. I've been doing a three-part series on anti-aging. And last week I discussed at length different types of anti-aging. Oh boy, I forgot something here. Just give me a second. I forgot to turn my screen on. Okay, here we go. That's what I forgot to do. Okay, so I forgot to turn my screen on in my slides. So that's sorry about that. But we do know that looking younger is way, way more than just skin deep, taking creams. It's very tempting to go for the anti-aging stuff out there right now, which focuses on our outer beauty and this. But really, there's so much more to anti-aging than that. What we really want to do is focus on being healthier inside and figuring out how our longevity can make a difference. Or the way we eat can make a difference to our longevity and make a difference to our life, to our quality of life as well. So let me go back to the very beginning of my slideshow from last week. I want to taskbar, yeah. Okay, that's it. Share. Okay. So a little bit technically challenged sometimes. So last week, what I talked about was how you can eat properly and all the different recommendations out there for being healthy. We do know that almost every issue we can address here, whether it's diabetes, hypertension, thyroid disease, autoimmune disease, things like fibromyalgia and chronic issues, they all have surround the fact that we have a lot of extra inflammation in our bodies and we're exposed to lots of toxins. So we do know that stuff called free radicals that float around in our body and do a lot of damage to our DNA. And this is what we discussed a lot last week and how we can eat. You might want to look at last week's webinars for more details on that. There's a lot of inflammation that affects vision and everything else, especially your skin. Something called oxidative stress, where the free radicals attack your body and damage your DNA and cells. And this actually premature ages every organ of your body, your eyes, your heart, your skin, your digestive system. Everything prematurely ages when you have oxidative stress. So we know that when these free radicals float around and destroy the DNA and the cell membranes of our body, we age from the inside out. But we can take care of that by, I'm not ready for him yet. Okay, where's the regular slides? Oh boy, I'm a little disorganized today, huh? Okay, we talk about oxidative stress. The things we focused on last week were the nutrients we can take for healthy eyes, healthy skin, and the whole body. We want to eat healthy fats. We want to eat a good amount of protein that's not processed foods, but really good protein sources like cheese and meat. And good, if you're a vegetarian, stick to the good legumes and beans and dairy if you want. Vitamin A, C, and E are the most essential ones to have for repairing skin tissue and rejuvenating skin and rejuvenating your whole body in particular, and being anti-inflammatory and antioxidant as well. Zinc and selenium that you might want to take also, and the foods and supplements we spoke about include all these things, including the B vitamins, which are good for they're neuroprotective and help grow your brain tissue back as well. We want to drink a lot of water, keep hydrated. We want to make sure we eat our green leafy vegetables because they're full of all kinds of good vitamins and minerals that we need to maintain good the integrity of our skin. We want to have, because again, we've mentioned vitamin A in our webinar on eye health, but vitamin A is good for growth and repair of all skin tissues, not just the eyes. Vitamin C, Vitamin E, I mentioned, and zinc. It helps make collagen. It helps produce collagen in your system. So the green leafy vegetables. This is from last week. You can go look at the webinar. All the orange vegetables, anything with orange in it. They say eat your rainbow. The orange has carotenoids, like carrots. Carotenoids are really very extremely valuable in rejuvenating the body and every organ system, and not only making you feel better from the inside out, but making you look better as well. And your healthy fats and your fishes. We talk about this in many webinars. I feel like I repeat myself, but what it boils down to is you are what you eat, and we have to stop going after all the processed stuff and the alcohol and things that really do a lot of damage to our system, and catch it and kind of nip it in the bud before you can. And just, if you're going to eat meat and if you're going to eat cheese, go for the healthiest part. Go for organic if you can. Go for just things that are very essential for all these different nutrients we're talking about. One slide we went over last week, the basics of what's the best to eat for anti-aging. Red fish, tomatoes have lycopene. Dr. William Lee talks about this at length. He talks about food as medicine. I've discussed him many times. You might want to check him out on YouTube. He's got an enormous amount of information, and he's a physician and an intensive care doctor who decided to study food and the impact of food on the body, and what does any kind of food do for you. So he's been doing the research, and he even has gotten to the point where he knows what is involved in every molecule of everything we eat out there. And I'm talking about healthy foods. I'm not talking about like the processed stuff, because he doesn't even agree with that stuff at all. But he knows that people are human, so you can treat yourself once in a while, but with ice cream or something like that, or some chips or whatever you want to treat yourself with. But he says with every single thing on this list, leafy greens, blueberries, pumpkin seeds, broccoli, almonds, and tomatoes, he can isolate the active ingredients that are really healing us on a microscopic level. And he even makes food prescriptions for people. So he's somebody you really might want to read about and look into. And he has these webinars called Masterclass, where he discusses all kinds of wonderful ways of really improving your health by just eating well. Again, more anti-aging foods. Avocado is in there. Blueberries, we know, are antioxidant. Anything antioxidant, any whole food is going to be great. Green tea is another one of Dr. Lee's favorites, because it's the highest antioxidant thing he can drink all day long. And I also do the same thing upon his recommendation. So supplements for eye health. This was from a couple webinars ago, but also happen to be very true for skin health and rejuvenation, and also for just anti-aging in general, to reverse the aging process. You get to supplement yourself even more than food can help you. Sometimes we get to a point where we really need supplements. I think we're in a generation where we didn't need supplements when I was growing up. I just didn't feel like we did. And now I feel like everything we have to do, food is not enough. There's not enough healthy food out there. And there's tons of food. We have a surplus. It's not what I mean. But, the ground, the soil that we're using is not as rich in minerals and vitamins anymore. People don't do crop rotation like they should. We have a lot of chemicals and toxins in the air and in the ground. And we have a lot of additives to foods. And we've been, bombarding our bodies like this for years and years, many of us, unless you've been living organic all your life, which I have not. So we have to supplement. And this is another reason why people are getting very sick. We're causing massive anti-inflammatory in ourselves and everybody all over the world. It's a widespread thing in all the countries that are considered to be countries that are leading the world and everything else. They're kind of falling short. In America alone, the more money they spend on health and fitness, the more obese people become. So we have to be very careful. Obesity is one of the number one causes of inflammation in the body. Okay, so you want to go again with your vitamins, omega-3s, rose hips. See, a bilberry is very good. Lycopene and CBD oil can help too, just because it's a very anti-inflammatory. So what I want to do is bring on my special guest who was recording yesterday, Dr. Barry Dinner. He's an anti-aging specialist. He's a physician originally from South Africa, but now resides in Ramat Beit Shemesh, Israel. And I asked him a few things he wrote a book about anti-aging. He's got more books to come. And I just want, without further ado, bring him on as a special guest. He has a little bit of a different aspect. He's a functional medicine physician after being just a regular physician, amazing regular physician for so many years. And he's just decided that it wasn't enough to treat people. I felt like I had the same inspiration. Surgery and medicine and surgery is just not enough. We have to do more. We have to take better care of ourselves. So without further ado, here is Dr. Barry Dinner, Dinner, spelled like dinner time. I'm going to put his details to the side and the name of his book, and please enjoy this interview. Whoops, not that one. Okay, so this is our second series of anti-aging webinars. The first one, we gave a lot of introduction to what is anti-aging. It seems to be all the rage right now. I know at my age, I'm very interested in it. And invited today one of my dear friends and my very own doctor, Dr. Barry Dinner, who lives here in Israel near me. And he has written a book. He's an anti-aging specialist. And he's written a book about it, how to take care of yourself so you can age gracefully, I guess, unless you want to describe it better than that. But it's called Be Young. And it's a complete guide to maintain your youthfulness. So without further ado, thank you for joining. A very busy man, so he's giving me his precious time. Thank you, Dr. Dinner, for joining us.
Thanks, Yehudis, for having me. Thanks very much. So I'll just give a little bit of background to my history. So I've been a family practitioner for many, many years, started in South Africa, and then I actually made a company, formed a company which was called the Stress Management Company, with some professors from the business school who were specialists in stress management. And we used to go to large companies and treat people for stress management and health management. I would do the health management, they would do the stress management, and it was a very successful in these large companies, and it was great. And I've always been really interested in prevention. So I happened to find the anti-aging site, which it's called A4M, and it showed me a whole world. It opened up a new world in medicine. It was very exciting about maybe 15 years ago, and they offered a fellowship in anti-aging medicine, which I did in the States, and we did tests, and it was fantastic.
Very, very. You were into anti-aging well before anybody else I ever heard of. It's been over 10 years, correct?
Yeah, no, I've been in, but the whole field of anti-aging was very big in the States. In other words, when they have anti-aging conference, you're talking about hundreds of physicians and medical people involved in this kind of, it's massive, and it's a great field, and we use what we call functional medicine. Now, the difference between functional medicine and conventional medicine is this. In conventional medicine, we aim for, and this I've been in for many, many years, we aim for a diagnosis. You've got this disease, and we look for a drug to treat it. That's the aim. You try and make an accurate diagnosis, and then you make a management plan. So we don't do that in functional medicine. In functional medicine, we look for causes. We look for root causes. If you've got an autoimmune problem, where's it coming from? Is the gut not working properly? Is stress contributing? What are the source of this illness that's going on? So we look for root causes. Now, it's the same thing in aging, because now we understand a lot more about the processes that lead to aging. And we know that, for example, a healthy mitochondria are little organelles in the cell that produce energy. If they start fatiguing and they're getting less, and they're not being functional and efficient, you start aging. So why is that happening? Is it due to toxins? Again, is it due to stress? Is it due to mineral deficiencies? We can start testing now for the things that contribute to aging. And the big systems, that's what my book is about, is the big systems that start going wrong. And we look at all the systems, and we know that you are, this is how we define it, you are as old as your weakest part. Because you may be healthy in 20 of your processes going on in your body, but one's going wrong. And if that's going wrong severely, that can catch you, and that's going to make you old. And we need to look at all the different processes that lead to aging and then detect what are the weak areas and strengthen them. That's what the book is about. And we look at all the different organ systems and all the different metabolic processes that lead to aging, and it's exploding the amount of knowledge that we now are understanding about what contributes to aging and how we can reverse it. So we look at all of that, look at your weak parts, and then based on that, we make a picture of your health profile, and then we give a program of improving your health and reversing health, bearing your aging process, bearing in mind that we call today middle age, and I'm sure you've heard this before, 70 years old. It used to be 50, and today you can be at 70 middle age, which means that you have a whole new life ahead of you at 70. Don't think it's the beginning of the end. We don't look at it at 70s. Now let's start preparing for old age. We believe that 70 is the beginning of a new life. Amazing. And you got to put things in place to do that. So I'm sure you've discussed the basic stuff, the big pillars of anti-aging, which would be obviously exercise, which is very, very crucial. Mm-hmm. And then the next part is nutrition. You have to, exercise is crucial, nutrition is crucial, and stress management. Those are big three pillars of that thing. Now, I'm going to be publishing my new book, which is going to be how to make that 70 plus, but actually it's less than 70, the 50 plus age group successful. Because we know there's an explosion of older people. If you look at the world population, old people are living much longer and many few births. So young people are having less babies. So we're going to have a very, very top-heavy population where the older population is going to be very big and the younger population is going to be less. And
well, there are countries right now where they have no children and or right. Very little. What they say, half a child per capita or something. And these countries, I don't know who they are, but some of them are even in the Middle East. They're mostly in Europe, I believe. And these people are in very big trouble because they don't have the young people to support the older people anymore. And so that's not only the issue, okay, how do we live and make our older people live longer and feel better and be healthier, but now the younger people are just, they're not enough of them to do this.
Right. Yeah. And therefore we have a very important role to play, both in the economy. There's not time for retirement. We believe not to retire, but not to overwork. In other words, we need balance. Once you hit the 70 plus or even 60 plus, you can tone down on the work, but don't stop. There's a lot we can contribute a lot. We've got a lot of knowledge and there's no reason to retire older people. But again, we want to be able to have balance in life. So that's the aim, is to remain in the economy, but have balance. So we've made also, I've made a new, it's called the Be Young Health Pyramid, like we've heard of all these health pyramids. It's a little bit different from the classical pyramid. We will publish it in my book. But the difference is this. The usual health pyramid obviously is bottom line, the base is nutrition. Eat salmon, eat olive oil, eat nuts, all the healthy stuff. It is a pillar, but we don't make it as our base. The next one may be nutrition. The next one may be fitness and exercise, and the next one may be stress and sleep. So they have their pyramids with the priorities on the base and going up to the top. So and on the bottom, right on the top there, in the little triangle in the top, would be spiritual health. We've turned the pyramid over, and I'll tell you why. Our base of the pyramid is called value. It's value medicine. In other words, the first thing, right from the inside, is to get a purposeful life, that you wake up every morning with purpose. You know you've got something to live for. You're enthusiastic about life. You've got something to contribute. It's crucial for the inside. Don't start with those diets yet, because let's get the inside done. So our base of it is having value. And the second step, second level is emotional and social health. That means stress management, not to be depressed. We want to make sure our emotions are in a good place. Crucial, because it has such a massive effect on our health. You can't go, there's so many times that people are, the doctors, what do we look for when a person comes to assessment? We look for cholesterol and blood pressure and glucose, but we can't measure stress, so we don't know, but it's so all-encompassing stress. So we've got to look at those parameters as well. And social, we have to be socially active in healthy social contact, very crucial. And then the next level is obviously nutrition and exercise and fitness, and we go up to the top. So that's how we would go about looking at health. And every person who comes to us will have an assessment of their value system, how they're getting on in life. Is life going well? Is it in a good place? And then we move on and we fix up all the other levels right to the top.
I love that. I love flipping the whole pyramid like that. It's just much more logical. And I have also moved from strictly medicine into realizing over many years now that preventative is the best thing, and also looking for the root cause. You just don't just go attack the blood pressure, the diabetes. You're taking 100 pills for 100 different problems. But where's that hope? I like the holistic model, even though never was an earth mother like in my youth, but I realized now that there was something that they were onto something of really taking good care of yourself and eating organic and getting the rest and getting the hydration and all these things that they weren't even discussing it that way, but we do know now that if we don't take care of ourselves in these basic ways, that we're going to have premature aging. And I just did a webinar on eye health. And it was a very eye-opening for me in a sense, because I do a lot of research before I do this. But they're saying that everything that you do that destroys your body in general is just causing premature aging. And that's what macular degeneration is. And even sometimes glaucoma and other things. You're causing different parts of your body to age prematurely. And that means you're aging overall prematurely. And so it's more than just like, how do I get the right cosmetics for my face so I look younger today? You have to go way, way deeper than that. And so we're very excited that people like you are around to help us. And I want to just ask you, if somebody wants to contact you, do you do telemedicine or just local people?
No, we do both online. We have programs online. We do a lot of lab testing, which we actually send from Israel. We would send to America because they don't do it here. When we look at minerals and toxins and more sophisticated cardiovascular tests, we actually FedEx to the States, but we certainly do online programs for people in the States. And the contact number here is 02-622-8674. And Abigail is the manager of that. She manages that area. And anyone would be welcome.
Thank you. And also one more question is, who else works on your team? When you say we, you obviously you're the leader of the team, and then who else do you have working with you?
So we have a very good nutritionist, excellent. Her name's Judy Kaiser, and she
was in our France,
like Judy, so she does. She's in the team, and most people will go through her. And then my nurse is Shoshana Hershon. She's very good as a coach, and she kind of follows up. In other words, we have two different lines of management. One is what we call just a functional medicine stuff, where people come in with a particular problem. So we try and help them get to the root of the problem. And then they don't need more than that, because it's just fixing up a problem. If they need to change, they want to anti-age, and they really want to get things in place. So it's a 6-month program, and we have coaching, and we have dietitian and exercise management and whatever else has to be done.
Right, and also one factor in this whole thing, besides decreasing your inflammation in your body and increasing your exercising and going to sleep on time and so on, there's really so much to be said about people having motivation to do this too, because I know that people come to me. I changed from being a nurse anesthetist to be an alternative practitioner with Chinese herbs and acupuncture, and I see. I tell people there's just so much I can do from my end. You have to do some work too. You have to make that commitment that you want this for yourself, because I can stick needles in you all day long and give you herbal medicine. And I also give nutritional advice because I'm in the nutritional degree. I mean, I really try to help, but there's people have to make that commitment on their own. Don't you agree?
Right, 100%. I mean, in other words, I often say to people, so you want to get healthy and you want to get anti-aging, and now, so what? What's it for? In other words, you have to have that second part, that's higher phase of why you want to live longer. Otherwise, you're not really motivated. And there's a lot to be done to live every day. There's a lot to live for.
You're so right. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your very, very busy schedule and preparing for Passover and everything else. And we're thrilled because I know people are going to love everything that you had to say. And I hope to see more of you on my program if we come up with other topics, and if I can track you down, you'll be able to give us some more advice on all different things. Thank you so much, Dr. Jenner.
Thanks, Yehudis. All the best. Be well.
Bye-bye. Oh, I like that you said be well. Okay. So, that's a bad lighting. So that was Dr. Dinner. And if you are interested in contacting him, you can, I think he gave information at the end of his, of our interview there, and I'm going to post it here in the comments. And also I will try to post any kind of, contact information for him where you can buy the book as well. And that's it for today, and have a great week, a great healthy week. And I hope to see you next week.